Hey traders, Jason here from Leavitt Brothers. In this video, I'm going to use a handful of trades from the past year to drill into your head a very important point. That point being, no matter how great a stock is, no matter how well it has treated you in the past, you can never get to the point where you just assume everything is going to be just fine no matter what. Many stocks over the past year did fantastic, and I'm talking about 200, 300, 400% gains. Okay, but those stocks topped and gave back huge chunks of their gains. Some have recovered a little bit. A lot of them are still struggling and are down even more. Okay, literally stocks that had cult-like followings. Okay, stocks that were consistent leaders, stocks that had big followings on social media, that were labeled as darlings, that were consistent residents on barchart.com's top 100 list. Okay, stocks that did indeed offer huge upside gains turned right around and took big hits. Let's go through some examples. Here's AAOI. Okay, it was a closely followed stock. Everyone was talking about it. Just buy a dip. Okay, I'm only showing it here from 25. It actually started much lower, down near single digits. I labeled two of the entries that we had at Leavitt Brothers. Okay, the stock dropped here to its 50-day moving average, resistance here at 50, broke out and moved up. Another trade we did was right in here where it dropped, kind of did a wedge pattern here and broke out again. But as you can see, what happened, it just got hit hard off its high, and this was just the first move down. The stock's now down at like 35. So a stock that literally could do no wrong for many, many months has lost like 70-80% of its value. Okay, luckily we weren't in at the time this happened. Okay, but it just shows you that a small stock that does really, really well and you have a great feeling about it, and the stock's paying you over and over, boom, it could turn right around and give everything back. Here's BBG, stock based for many months, broke out, consolidated, and broke out again. We didn't get the first move. We almost never get the first move because we're just not paying attention. But the first move puts the stock on our radar. It consolidates. We posted it for our subscribers. It broke out and ran huge, drifted down, and then got hit pretty hard. Okay, another example of a stock that is a smaller stock that did really well, that it would be easy just to kind of settle in and get lazy and get complacent and to think that you don't have to manage it and you don't have to do anything, that it's going to be just fine, and then it gives everything back. Okay, another one that luckily we weren't in at the time it fell. Brooks Automation, part of the strong semiconductor group. We played it in April here, ran up really nice, came back down, based for, what is this, about 3 months. We played it right in here where it started getting scooped up by the 50-day moving average. It had resistance overhead. Really nice move from the mid-20s to the mid-30s. Our target, I don't remember our target. I think our target was at 32. So we weren't in for this last little bit, and we weren't in for the drop. But again, another example of a really good stock that overall had doubled over the course of the year. Everyone just kind of assumed that I can sit back and eventually, and whatever happens, eventually it'll go in my favor. And that wasn't the case. This drop here was just the first drop. It actually dropped down to 22 over the following couple weeks after that. Kemet, we never played this one, but it was something that was on our radar. We just, for whatever reason, just didn't see an entry, or just didn't like the entries. Moved up, consolidated for a couple months, moved up, consolidated for a couple months, just kind of kept moving up, consolidating. We just never got into it. Got a buy here off the 50-day moving average if that's your thing, and then it got hit pretty hard. Okay, another example, this stock was literally at the top of barchart.com's top 100 list for several months. It just kept going and going and going. Went from 8 to the mid-20s, so it went up like 300%, and then obviously eventually it got hit pretty hard. It's another reminder that when you have a small company, even if it goes up 200-300%, it could turn around and give half back in a relatively short period of time. Here's Riot Blockchain. Okay, we played the breakout here. Okay, from our perspective, it was a dead stock, moved up, consolidated. This put the stock on our radar, and then when it broke out, we were long and we made a quick buck. Okay, at the time we played it, we had no idea that it was related to Bitcoin or the cryptocurrencies. We thought it was a biotech stock. We were just playing the chart. But as you can see, the stock went from practically penny stock land up to the mid-40s. Could do no wrong. Obviously, it's really volatile, and there's some big moves up and down, but some of the younger traders who don't have as much experience were just thinking, hey, you can just buy a dip in this thing and just hold on. Even if it goes against you, and eventually it's going to go up. This thing moves 10-20% a day. Well, look what it's done since topping. Okay, topped in the mid 40s, now it's down in the teens. Okay, so it's given back like 60% of its gains. So again, another example of like what paid you yesterday might not pay you today. Square, bigger company, more established, okay, not a small cap like some of these others. We played it in July here when it broke out from this little triangle pattern. It based for a few months, and then it just kind of stair-stepped its way up. It moved up, rested, moved up, rested, moved up, rested. This was another one that had like a cult-like following. Everyone thought like these guys are taking over. I went to the bagel shop and there's a Square terminal there. I went to this store and they're using Square. Got my car fixed. The guy has Square in his iPhone in order to pay the bill, and everyone's like, these guys are all over the place. They're getting market share, and yeah, so they grew and grew and grew, and now the stock's down like about 30% off its high. So even a great, so just it's a reminder that no matter how good a stock is, no matter how well it has paid you in the past, you still have to manage positions. Don't get completely full of yourself. Like no stock is immune from taking a big hit. Now, if it's your style that you're going to hold through a big pullback, then fine. Okay, Square in the long run is probably going to do fine. Okay, but if you're shorter term and you don't want to sit through a 30-40% drawdown, which I probably think most of you fall in that category, then when you find yourself getting euphoric about like, man, this thing can't do any wrong, it's probably time to start taking some money off the table. A couple more here. UCTT. Another stock that did really well overall. I went from like basically from single digits all the way to mid 30s, so we're talking about a couple 100% return. We played it in here. It was consolidating for a couple months. It was starting to get support from the 50-day moving average. We had resistance just overhead, so we played it in here for this ride up. We took profits at our target, and then we just sat there and watched the stock trade around looking for another entry, and we just never got another entry. It fell pretty hard. So again, this stock was like leaderboard stock, top of the barchart.com top 100 list. Social media is all over it. This stock is doing great. It's one of the leaders, and boom, it takes a big hit. Okay. Again, just a reminder that no matter how good a stock is, no matter how good it paid you in the past, you cannot assume it's going to continue. Last one, ZAG. Base here, March, April, popped up, base for a couple more months. We played it here in August. This is our style. We're not going to get the first move. Sometimes we're not going to get the second move either. But once it establishes itself in an uptrend and it gets a little bit more expensive, so the daily moves are a little bit bigger, like this would be our ideal trade. Let's trade it at let's wait till it proves itself, and once it gets to a higher level and can prove itself, then we'll buy it here at 10 and 11 and ride it up for whatever we can make. Overall, the stock went from like 6 to 24, so that's like 400%. But as you can see, it topped near 24, moved down, drifted sideways and down, and then yesterday it just completely fell apart. So again, another stock that was at the top of the leaderboard for month after month after month is very quietly down, 30-40%. I don't know what the percentage is. It's for 30-40% off its high. Okay, you get my point. Okay, don't love a stock because it's not going to love you back. Just because a stock is at the top of the leaderboard for many months, it may move several 100%. It doesn't mean it can't turn around and give a big chunk back, especially if it's a small cap. Okay, come join us at Lever Brothers. We find the best stocks in the best groups. We profile them and we bring them to your attention so you can make money. You still have to do some work, but heck, you can start each day and each week with a pretty good list to work from. One good trade pays for your subscription for the entire year. Come check us out.